Next we are going to see is about Hooke's law and its verification. Okay, so Hooke's law is being verified with the help of experiments. For this, we are considering Hooke's law is a small deformation when the stress and the strain are proportional to each other. So, Hooke's law is mainly possible only when the stress is proportional to the strain, and it can be verified in a simple way by stretching a thin straight wire. So we are considering a thin straight wire, and that wire has the length L and it has a area A. Okay, length L and area A suspended from a fixed point O. So it has been suspended from a fixed point which is O, and a pan and a pointer are attached at the free end. Okay, so at one of its end, one pan and a pointer is being attached. The extension produced on the wire is measured using a vernier scale. So, what is the extension produced? That is being measured with the help of a scale, and the corresponding stretches in the force is F, and the elongation produced is del L. Okay, so first the length is what? L, and the elongation of the length is what? Del L. Okay, and what is the force? Which is F. It is directly proportional to the original length and inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Okay, and so we can say that this force is directly proportional to the original length and inversely proportional to the area of cross section. And we are also going to draw a graph between F and del L, and we see that that graph gives you a straight line. Okay, and so this is the experimental arrangement. So this is a wire we are considering. This is a pan along with a weight, and this is a pointer, and when this elongates, we just measure the length with the help of this scale. Okay, so when the weight is being added, what happens? It elongates more. That elongation is denoted as del L. Okay, and we have a graph. This is a graph between F and del L. So when you see the graph between F and del L, it is a straight line. Okay, long straight line. Okay, now considering with this, so when you find the slope here, okay, this value is what? Del L, and this value is what? F. Okay, so we can write the value of slope to be equal to this y divided by x. Okay, and so that is equal to del L divided by F. Okay, so slope is equal to what? Del L divided by F. From this, if you want the value of del L, we can write it as F into slope. Okay, so that is the formula which you are going to take it now. Del L is equal to slope into F. Next is the formula for volume. Volume is equal to, the formula is area into the length. Okay, and so area is A, length is L, so A into L. Okay, now the next is taking with this formula F into slope. What we are going to do is multiply and divide by the volume. Okay, so volume is what? A into L, so AL divided by AL into this del L. Okay, so in this del L, what we are going to do? Multiply and divide by the term of volume. So volume is equal to AL, so AL divided by AL into del L. Okay, now in this, bringing this A down, and this slope we are going to write this side, and we'll write this as F divided by A. Okay, since we are bringing this A down, and this slope we are going to bring it this side. Here we have the term L alone. Okay, and here we have with A into L, and now I'm going to write this as, this can be written as del L divided by L. So this L I've joined in this, and here we have the term A. Okay, and bringing the slope down, and so we write as into slope. Okay, so A L divided by A into slope. Okay, this term L divided by A into slope is said to be a constant term, so we are writing this as F divided by A is proportional to del L divided by L. Okay, and so we write here F divided by A, which is equal to L divided by A into slope. del L divided by L. Okay, this can be written as a constant, and so F by A, which is proportional to del L divided by L. So what is F by A, which is equal to what? Stress, because stress is equal to force divided by area, is it not? And what is del L divided by L, which is change in dimension by original dimension, that is equal to what? Strain. Okay, so we have proved with stress, which is directly proportional to the strain. Okay, and so this will happen in the elastic limit, and this is Hooke's law. Okay, so stress is proportional to strain in the elastic limit. This is Hooke's law. Clear? And then next is we have the stress and strain profile curve. Okay, so a curve between the stress and the strain for this, considering the strain along the x-axis and stress along the y-axis. And if we draw the graph, we get the graph like this. So we have various limits O, A, B, C, D and E, and OA is called as a proportional limit. Okay, so OA is said to be the proportional limit, and next B is said to be the elastic limit. Okay, and D is said to be the ultimate stress point, and E is said to be the breaking or rupture point. Okay, so these are the points which are being denoted in this. So what we are going to do is, so for any material we are going to apply with a stress. Okay, stress is a force. So if you apply with a stress, what happens? Okay, so it will elongate until a particular limit, that is the elastic limit. So above this elastic limit, if you are going to apply, okay, this is a maximum stress, okay, ultimate stress point, and above this it breaks. Okay, there is no stress at all in that. Clear? And so we'll just see this one by one. First, the portion OA, in this region stress is very small, such that stress is proportional to strain. So here also stress and strain are proportional. So Hooke's law is valid. Since stress is proportional to strain, Hooke's law is valid. The point A is called as a limit of proportionality. So we have already seen in the graph itself, OA is called as what? The limit of proportionality, because above this point Hooke's law is not valid. So above the point A, the Hooke's law will not be valid. The slope of the line gives the Young's modulus. So when you see the slope for this, that gives the value of the Young's modulus in this. Okay, the next region is AB. The region AB, in this, if the stress is increased by a very small amount, okay, this region is reached. Okay, so stress, if you are going to increase a very small amount, then we are getting with this region. Stress is not proportional to strain. So in this region stress is not proportional, but once when the restoring force is, stretching force is removed, it will come back to its original position. So if you apply the force and if you are removing, it come back to its original position at this point. So this behavior ends at a point B, and hence B is said to be the yield point. Okay, so B is called as a yield point. The other word is elastic limit. Okay, so B is a elastic limit, and the elastic behavior of the material in the strain curve is OAB. Okay, so OAB, and this curve is called as a elastic behavior. Okay, in this graph. Clear? Then next is we have the portion BC. In the portion BC, if the wire is stretched beyond B, okay, as we have seen already, B is called as what? Elastic limit. So beyond B, if you are going to increase, what happens? Stress increases and the wire will not regain its original length. So the wire will not come back to its original length after the removal of stretching force. So it will not come back to the elastic limit. Okay, and next is we have the portion CD. Okay, and in this, with a further increase in the stress, the strain increases beyond the point D, but beyond the point the strain increases even when the load is removed and it breaks. Okay, so somewhere you would have seen rubber band where it has been broken up. Okay, so where it breaks up completely, and after this it will not be used for any purpose, is it not? And that point is E, and therefore the maximum stress is called as a breaking stress or tensile strength. Okay, that stress is called as what? The breaking stress or the tensile strength. And the corresponding point is called as a fracture point. The corresponding point, this full point, okay, B, C, D and E, that represents a plastic behavior. So first we have seen O, A, B, that represents the elastic behavior, and above this B, C, D and E, that represents the plastic behavior of the material. Clear? So this is about the Hooke's law. Okay, thank you.